is about cultural tourism. So yeah, can I move on to the next slide? I think there's certain hiccups here. Let me just off this.
Yes, sure, Miss, you can.
Okay. All can see my screen, right?
Can.
Okay, great. So yeah, the topic about cultural tourism itself, the moment we say about cultural tourism, right? So I believe that, out of these 53 participants, can you all say what do you all know about cultural tourism? Or what do you all know about culture? Yeah. Can anybody give me your input? Then I'll give the suggestions, the fact. So anyone, MSU students, I know you guys are very outspoken, and I've seen like a lot of MSU students new to, Police. Come on, guys. What do you all know about culture? Can anyone suggest something? Is everything perfect over there? Hello, hello, guys. Is everything perfect over there?
Miss, hold on, yeah. Give us few minutes.
Yep.
Okay, Miss, sorry for the trouble. I think you can start.
Okay, great. So I think, yeah, I will just start from this particular point. I was telling about the cultural tourism, right? So I know like all of these students you guys are young learners, right? You are like millennium, Gen Z. So what do you all know about culture? Can somebody give me, your suggestions? What do you know about culture? What is culture to you? Put it this way, what is culture to you? Response. Okay, fine. Let me put it this way. Okay, let me give you more a specific question. Do you all think culture is documented? There's one response here. Or someone say culture is kebudayaan. Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, so next one. Do you all think culture is documented or not? Is it documented? No, obviously, if you see culture, it is not documented. It is basically the information, the practices that being passed down from one generation to the other generation. Example, our ancestors, grandparents or great grandparents, they used to pass down messages like, you cannot open the umbrella inside the house, you cannot put shoe, you cannot wear shoe inside the house. But do we know the reason of it? It's all basically passed on information and it's not documented. So basically culture is something that we follow based on what do other people say. Okay. So what we do now, okay, yeah, I think Amisha, they say that culture is belief and it's not documented. Perfect. Yeah, it is not documented. It's just a belief. What do people believe? And it will just followed from one generation to the other generations. Okay, when it comes to this, cultural tourism, we rest the word culture for a while. We just focus on tourism perspective, and then we see how do this cultural tourism works in terms of growing the or contributing this our GDP. Okay, let's see some fact here. Okay, so can you see this the number here? Can you see the numbers here? Can anybody read the numbers up to 2023 first quarter? F basically is actually first quarter. So what is the number of tourist arrival up to 2023 first quarter? Can somebody read the numbers? Can someone read the numbers? I think, Daniel, you are trying to say something, but your mic is off. I think you mute your mic. Okay, no worries. If you can see from the screen here, in the first quarter itself, this is obviously, this is the information that abstracted for Kenanga Research Group. It stated that, up to this first quarter, there are 9.6 billion tourists arrived in Malaysia. So what that shows? What is the significance of this number? So you see how do this number grows and what is the significance of it? Yeah? And also, next one. Basically, I've actually inserted a video here to show that, the contribution of economic, the contribution of tourism sector towards GDP. Yeah. Do anybody know? Yeah. So this is basically $1 million questions. Do anybody know the contribution of tourism sector to Malaysia GDP? Can anyone? Can anyone give me the fact? Contribution of Malaysian tourism sector to GDP or economic growth. Put it this way, economic growth. I think there's a message here. Not sure, madam. Okay, no worries. Okay, if I'll notice that, I strongly urge young generation to make sure you update yourself with what is happening currently in terms of economic growth. What is the biggest economic? Which is the sector contribute the most to economic growth? So young generations, you guys are the future leaders there. So make sure you know what is happening in the market now. So if you see economic what you call tourism sector, it is one of the biggest contribution to national GDP or GDP itself, okay, which accumulated more than 48% of GDP comes from tourism sector. Okay? So that shows that, every single year, Malaysia's government, especially tourism board, okay, they do spend significant amount of money to encourage, growth of tourism sector, and they even provide grants to small startup or small entrepreneurs to actually venture into tourism sector. And because of that, every single year you see there's a different diversions of slogans. We start from Malaysia, truly Asia, and then cuti Malaysia. So all this is to pull the attention of not only local tourists, from the international tourists itself. This is another fact. Okay, basically this is for last year's fact. Also taken from Malaysian Tourism Board. If you see the number specifically year 2022, more than 10 million people arrived in Malaysia, and the amount that spent last year itself. Notice this is last year itself, more than 28 million. So all this budget, you see, every year Malaysia announce budget, right? And young generation students are receiving some significant amount out of the budget. From where all this money comes from? Okay, this is one of the biggest contributions, the tourism sector. So that is based on 2022. So if we move on further, this is specifically which are the tourists, which are the countries that are contributing the most to our tourism sector, which is the Middle East country. See, the Middle East country contributing more than 10 million. Okay, this is basically this year's fact, from January to June this year, and followed by India the least. Why? Because of the exchange rate. Okay, and now looks at the month. Okay, before look at the month, right? Okay, let me ask you this general question. Okay, which are the month you think tourists arrive the most in Malaysia? Can anyone give me the answer? Which is the month? Common sense. This is common sense. Which is the month that tourists arrive the most in Malaysia? incoming tourists. Oh, there's a message here. Summer. Okay. Yeah, if you notice, December. Okay. December is the calendar where huge amount of tourists will visit Malaysia. Here, common sense, because it's a year-end holiday. Okay, and you see the fact here. Okay. Total tourists arrive by months, and this is basically up to last year. Okay. See, number of tourists keep on increasing, especially December. There's a huge number of tourists. Okay. Knowing the fact not only Malaysia, worldwide, December is the holiday month, and that is a traveling season. And if you see them, all the flight tickets, December is the most expensive one, unless you book early during the promo period. So if you see all these numbers, right, since for the beginning, put aside culture first. Later on, I'm going to bring in the concept of culture. So we see how do this Malaysian Tourism Board, okay, wanted to market this what you call economic sector, or specifically this tourism sector more to the world, to mark Malaysia in the world map that we are one of the biggest tourist spot, and also in terms of cultural site. You see, particularly, there's a lot of plans that Malaysian Tourism Board planned, but I'm going to emphasize one important plan here. You see, we do have domestic tourism and we got international tourism. So the only differences to domestic tourism is by domestic tourists, and international is basically international travelers arriving in Malaysia. So all this like tourism, there are two support pillars, the main lead and the support lead. Or the main lead, meaning of main lead, why do tourists travel? Why do people want to travel? Regardless whether they are domestic travel or they are international travel. So first, when you talk about domestic travel, people wanted to travel because of they wanted to enjoy shopping. Okay, name it. Amount of shopping complex surrounding Klang Valley. Can anyone name number of shopping complex, or name those shopping complex in Klang Valley itself? Anyone? Okay. You just name in any major shopping places. Pavilion 2, Mid Valley, Times Square. Who is the most common visitors there, apart from our neighbor country friends, if you go to KLCC Park at night, I do have experience going to KLCC Park at night, evening. Of course, we do have our major friends there, but apart from that, we do have Middle East tourists, the most occupying to all these shopping complexes. Yes, European. So yeah, European is the most tourists visiting all these shopping complex. And you see every year, there's a lot of new shopping complex being built. Recently, all these mega rise shopping complex, which I never heard of it before, but just because there was a new incident, some of these escalators collapsed because of, natural disaster. I think last week, the escalator just dropped. Because of that issue, say, hey, there's a new shopping complex. So who are the person visiting here? So these are all built for sake of tourist purposes. And then we do have, people travel because of visiting friends and family, medical treatment. If you see like Penang, they are known for medical treatment. People are coming to Penang for medical treatment. And I've done my own personal, for grant purposes, we have done a research on tourists arriving in Malaysia, which is the most common factor. One of it, they come visiting Malaysia because of medical treatments. And one of the biggest, one of the famous state is Penang. Yeah. So with all this lead, where these culture words come from? Where do these culture words here? They are into the support pillar. Okay. So culture always the support pillar for all this domestic and international tourism. Okay. So now move on to specifically to cultural tourism now. And this is exactly, I extracted this from the SAR, showing that the amount of, support, or the amount of uh, growth, okay, contributed by tourism sector. Okay? So basically, this is an effect show that every year, this tourism sector, they are one of the biggest contributor. Okay, so let's move on to cultural perspective now. So I think like the Zoom section will be disconnected within 5 minutes, right?
Sorry for
Actually,
interrupting our meeting. Our meeting will end in 5 minutes as the meeting limit is only 40 minutes. I need all of the participants to rejoin the meeting with the same link. Thank you.
So I will rejoin back, or shall I continue to explain and then how do I go about it? Just like I
Rejoin
start
back.
to explain now. So rejoin back.
We can rejoin back the meeting.
So basically, how many minutes remaining now before the links expired?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. Within these 2 minutes, let me just utilize the timing. No, I do have quite some important not say quite some important, quite some exciting plans that I planned for this guest lecture. So you see, like, okay, when you talk about this cultural heritage, there's actually two types of cultural heritage. One you can touch, the other one you cannot touch. Those that you can touch, we call it tangible heritage. Those that we cannot touch, we actually classify them as intangible heritage. But in Malaysia itself, okay, we do have both these tangible heritage and intangible heritage, and we are known for this. We are so famous of this tangible heritage and intangible heritage. Okay? So let's look at some fun fact. Okay, when you say about specifically intangible heritage, so this is basically I'm touching now is in terms of cultural tourism. Why do people travel to Malaysia? Okay, like specifically for cultural purpose. So what is the purpose they want to travel to? One of the main purpose is for tourism. I mean, like for religious purposes. Pilgrimage. Yeah, like Malaysia, I'm not sure number of you guys do know about this Batu Cave temple. No, it is so much well known. During I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere January where we celebrate this Thaipusam. You see the tourists. Where are these tourists coming from? It's all walks of life from all around the world. Okay, they are traveling because they wanted to fulfill their wish. Okay, so that is one of the intangible cultural heritage. And then we do have another one, we call it diaspora tourism. So basically people travel for sake of finding their route, okay, finding their ancestor place, okay, or we call it finding their clans. Some people, they will travel up to, their origin country like China. They travel to India to find out where their ancestor temples are, and they will explore further on that. So that is also one example of cultural tourism. And the third one, which is the living culture.
Hello, hello, madam. Hello, can you hear me?
Can.
Okay, you can proceed, madam.
Okay, so let me just continue where I stopped, okay, which is about the intangible heritage, right? So let me just share the screen again.
இது பண்ணிட்டேனே.
Can you see my screen?
Recording in progress.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay,
Can.
so initially I've explained about, intangible tourism, right? So one of it is the living culture. People are traveling to find out, especially in terms of uh, clothing, what is the exotic music around, okay? Like Sarawak. Do you all know Sarawak is famous for what? Can anybody give me uh, mm, reason? Sarawak is famous for what? Somebody say something. Cake lapis, yeah, food. Okay, so yeah, okay. Sarawak is famous for cake lapis, and apart from that, we do have cultural villages, and you know that rich in biodiversity. Yeah, correct. And you know that Sarawak, we do have this rainforest festival every year in Sarawak. Have you heard about rainforest festival? Okay, this particular festival, Rainforest Festival, okay, this is basically one of every year. This will happen somewhere near July. Okay, yeah, somewhere near July. Okay? This is where all the cultural heritage, all the ethnic group they will display. Apart from, of course, they do a free flow of beers. Apart from that, you will see all these different ethnic groups come together. They will display their ethnic groups diversity. So that is in terms of fact, right? So let's look at specifically some pictures here. Okay, I want to see whether you were able to detect where do these buildings are located. So another perspective of tangible cultural tourism is the monument itself, is the buildings, the craft in the buildings, which maintained to show that, okay, this is where our roots come from. This is a cultural behavior. This is a lifestyle. This is a belief that we have. All this belief are transformed in terms of paintings, into buildings, into even handicrafts. So let's see some of the pictures here. Can anybody say where do this picture, like this building, what is this building? What is the name of this building? Yes, it's in Kedah. Okay, basically the name of this mosque is Al-Bukhari Mosque. Yes, correct. So one of the biggest attraction, if you see like to Kedah itself, Kedah is a state well known for its a lot of monuments. And this is one of the, okay, look at the texture. Okay, look at the design itself. Now people are visiting to all these states because of this archaeological site, because of these monuments. So this is the first one. So basically this is Al-Bukhari Mosque. Next one. Can anybody identify what building is this and belongs to whom? Penang or Melaka? Okay, Penang. Okay, this is basically a building belongs to kaum Peranakan. Where do this kaum Peranakan comes from? This is a heritage buildings belongs to kaum Peranakan. Where do the roots come from? They're very famous in Malacca, right? Yes. This is one of the, you see the texture of the building, you see the design of the building, it is maintained. Of course, there were a lot of what we call spending to maintain as it is. Okay, to show that, okay, to future generation, okay, this is exactly how do this kaum Peranakan add their lifestyle. Okay? The culture is that, the family upbringing is that. So Malaysian government that spends quite significant amount of money to maintain this, the design, the texture of it. Of course, there was certain modification made to actually modernize it, but still maintain with the original texture. This one. Can anybody name it? This is from which state and what is this? Yes, this is basically Sarawak Cultural Village. And one of the biggest attraction, apart from this Rainforest Festival, which is known from international tourists, for local tourists, Sarawak is known for this cultural village. To go to this cultural village, right? So basically, we call this Rumah Panjang. This is a huge Rumah Panjang. I know quite well about this because I studied in Sarawak for 7 years. And during my stays, we explored so much into all this culture. So to visit this Rumah Panjang, basically, you'll see each of these long house, they have their own community, they have their own dance, they have their own practices. So this is a huge long house where if you visit here, you will see all different side of ethnic groups. This one. And anyone know where do this craft belongs to? Any idea? Response. So basically, this is a craft. This is from Tambon Cafe. I mean, like cafe, Tambon Cave. Have you heard about Tambon Cave? Do you know Tambon or not? Where is Tambon located? Ipoh. Okay. So Tambon is very famous of their theme park, right? I only visit Tambon because of the theme park. But apart from that, this is one of the tourist spot because of their cave. Now look at the craft here. Okay, this is basically to show that lifestyle of those origin people there. And how do they sustain their lifestyle? How do they live that lifestyle there? They have symbols. They communicate through symbols. This one. Obviously, everybody know, right? Especially international, even I guess international students should know. Now, this is basically Batu Cave, and we have Lord Muruga statue here. And this is where, especially January, you'll see huge amount of tourists will walk in here because of, they wanted to, fulfill their wish. Yes, Batu Cave, correct. Okay, so that is in terms of tangible heritage, right? So let me ask these young generations here. Do you all travel because of what? When you all go for vacations, right? What's the purpose for you guys go for vacations? So what's your motive? So which are the spot? First motive, which are the destination and why you visit those destinations? You'll be really good if, let's say, someone like on their mic and explain. Because the name is Talk Show. I think the name of this sketch lecture is Talk Show. See the tourist attraction. Rina said that tourist attraction. Example of those tourist attractions, Rina? Okay, see, from our research that we have done in terms of topic related with tourism, right? When we ask young generation, especially Gen Z, you all are Gen Z, right? Why do you all travel? Main purpose, visit friends, visit family, relax. Okay, they wanted to go for food. So intangible cultural heritage is more to young generation. Tangible, more to what do you call it? Retired. Yeah. More to Gen X, baby boomers. So you see, we do have two different types of heritage. One is intangible, the other one's tangible. Tangible is more to like baby boomers, senior citizens, where they appreciate belief of olden days, and they wanted to explore further. And when talk about intangible, example of intangible, we do have like batik craft, we got traditional dance, our Malaysian own tropical food. People are traveling here to taste different version of foods. Okay, let me try to ask you guys. Okay, name me one famous dance in Kelantan. You have taken sejarah, right? I mean, of course, majority of you guys might have taken history. What is a famous dance in? Cultural dance. Of course, I mean, let me just reframe. Cultural dance in Kelantan. It's a response here. Nora Chatri. Nora. Okay, you see, okay. Okay, have you heard about Kuda Kepang? Do you know Kuda Kepang or not?
Yes, yes, I know.
So what is the main props? Let me ask you. What is the main props for Kuda Kepang? What is the main props used in Kuda Kepang? You see, those props, okay, it's all handmade to symbolize lifestyles of olden days people. Okay? Our great grandparents. Yeah, how do they live? It all are symbolized. Yeah? But if you ask young generation now, amount of young generation traveling because to enjoy, to explore all these, routes, very less. Okay? However, this is all comes under sustainable tourism, whereby all this traditional dance, even like batik chanting, even though it is already modernized, but it still falls under the sustainable tourism where, future generations, they should know. When you say about all these traditional dance, they only learn from all these textbooks, from certain chapters, we do have traditional dance from different states. But do they really expose it? Do they really went and see and experience it? Very less, especially young generation. And the most they can see is only through the theater. So put it this way, yeah, when come to intangible cultural tourism, we do have batik arts, we do have traditional dance, and we do have also people travel because of food. And the other purpose why people are traveling also, this is specifically the support pillars for tourism, the handicraft side, and there's also a location for entrepreneurs to really explore more into this handicraft. Diverse food, traditional attires. Okay, do you know that Malaysian government come out with the rules that certain days in a week, if I'm not mistaken, those days it was Wednesday, okay, but now I'm not sure the practice, but all the government officers, including teachers, they need to wear their traditional attire on certain days. What is the purpose? What is the reason when Malaysian government announced that, okay, this is the rules, like Monday or Wednesday, okay, everyone need to wear, traditional attire or even batik, specifically batik. Why? I think someone said, Hamisha, okay, wear batik to show the culture. Yes, obviously to show the culture and to show that this is a culture should never die. If you look at the way that batik was modernized now, it's no longer merely wearing as an official attire. Look at how it was modernized. It become into like professional working attires. Even for kids. I think last year while I was traveling, I think when I went to Thailand, even it was available in Thailand, okay, but they available in Thailand. Okay, they make it into child's what do you call attire. okay, just to show that batik, they are forever belongs to Malaysia. But due to assimilations, okay, there's a lot of other peoples taking it and modernizing it. So put it into this way, okay, to explore Malaysian tangible culture, intangible culture, you can see from historical building, archaeological site, like for example, Kedah, they are very famous for archaeological site, monuments, objects, okay, like if we visit museums, okay, I think every year the administrator from museum, they always come out with the announcement, encourage publics, okay, those who have like documents, like olden days documents, okay, and they wanted to preserve those. Okay, please share those to Malaysian museum or national museum so that they can take a proper precaution to show that to coming future generation, this is where certain culture belongs. So this is the ethnic group. This is the behavior of those ethnic group, their lifestyle. Okay, so all that need to be documented. Okay, to put it in a nutshell, you know, to explore tangible cultural heritage, you can see from either drawing, you know, painting, buildings. And now comes to the challenge. Okay? You see all this building that we saw earlier, right? All these like Peranakan buildings, all these mosques, their, you know, the texture, the design, to maintain it. Every year you need to go for proper maintenance. This is where money comes in now. You know, the focus. You know, every year, okay, of course, there's a huge amount of expenses there. Okay? Most of this tourism sector, they are dominated by private agencies. Okay? Why? They know that, you know, number of tourists is arriving every year, keep on increasing. The fact shows so, you know, the amount of money they're spending increasing. So because of that private sector, they started to utilize this. They started to explore further on this. You know? So that is first one. You know, tourism becoming a profit driven sector, which is not wrong at all. Okay, and the second one, this is more interesting, complex culture. Okay, so since from the beginning, okay, when I ask you what is culture, okay, obviously culture is not something documented. Okay, so every single one can argue. Okay, this is where one of the common argument happens in all different part of the country, specifically I'm focusing in Malaysia. Okay, for example, if let's say there's a new discovery of certain belief, certain practices, right? So there will always be an argument. So these practices do not belong to this ethnic group, or this behavior or this ritual do not. Shall I continue? Organizer? Shall I continue? How many minutes do I have?
So, ma'am, so.
48.
48.
48? I can hear you guys. How many minutes do I left? Hello?
You have another 20 minutes, madam.
20 minutes, is it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at the third one. Okay, so this is basically one of the most challenges here. So when, from the fact itself, from the fact that I've shown the chart, what the month that people visit the most Malaysia is December. Okay, but what happened to the rice bowl of those players into tourism sector? Okay, those opening their booth, those selling their handicraft. How are they going to sustain their life from January up to November? What are they going to do? Okay, so that is the biggest challenge here, where this is initiative by government, not say government sector itself. So overall, the economic side. Okay? So apart from focusing only on one economics, all these entrepreneurs or small scale players into able to sustain their life throughout the year. Okay, they also have different variety of skills to sustain their or to even upgrade their lifestyle. So this is the basically three main challenges of maintaining cultural heritage tourism. And to preserve, who should play the role to preserve cultural heritage? Who should play the role? Malaysian government only? No. I do have 50 participants. Yeah. Can anybody answer? Who should be responsible to preserve all this cultural heritage? Anyone? So now I got 51 participants. Response. Okay, let me repeat again. Who should be responsible to preserve Malaysia's cultural heritage?
I think all the bodies have to work together, like such as government. We as a community here in this country, so
Yeah,
we have to see what there's a group of people taking care of tourism, right? So I think all of us we have to do together. Should put our hand.
yeah, you are right. If you see, to protect this or to preserve, rather than say to protect, to preserve this cultural heritage, not only one single body, basically every single one. Even like, for example, all the students, okay, wherever that you see like there is a craft, no, in the building, yeah, try not to damage it. Yeah. And even when you see someone like damaging all these designs or arts, be a responsible Malaysian citizen, report. Okay? Why? Future generation, they need to see. They need to know, okay, Malaysia is one of the country where we have a huge or reach of different ethnic group, and we got diverse culture. Okay? We got rich of cultures. So every single one, not only government entities, not only certain authorities, everyone, as long as you are Malaysian citizen, play your role. And in terms of visiting, okay, try annually, okay, at least once. Go and visit all these like places where they are famous because of these arts, like chanting batik. So try to visit and see like how do these people sustain their life there. How do they learn all this? No, this is basically not only in terms of culture, this is additional skills basically. And yeah, the last one, last but not least, cultural tourism, basically, this is a win-win situation for everyone. Make it a tourist because tourists are traveling. They wanted to learn something. They wanted to enhance their knowledge. They find a lot of useful information. Second, for local communities. So basically, they will able, meaning of local communities is the domestic tourists. So they're able to know something new, which they never know in their entire life. Okay, so they will get a very good awareness on different, cultural lifestyle, monuments, what is documented. And the third one, obviously for the economic growth, and the fourth one for sustainability, to preserve the environment. So far, any questions from the audience? Any questions so far? Knock, knock, knock. Any questions, guys? I think somebody said good exposure. No, not at all. Okay, fine. So last but not least, I've prepared a quiz. You all got experience playing booklet game? Do anyone got experience playing booklet game? Do you all wanted to try? So seems you guys want to try. Let me share the screen. So I'll stop sharing my slides. I'm going to share you guys the game link. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, can.
Okay, to play, basically, just go to this booklet. Just go exactly to this idplay.booklet.com. Just join with the ID given here. I'll wait until there are at least 10 participants, then we can start. Can I ask two more participants? Okay, great. I think there's already 11 participants, so I'll just start first. Okay, done. Let's see who wins. So yeah, I think we got a winner here. So basically, Pravina scored the highest goal. Okay, so let's look at the report. Not bad. So yeah, I think I've covered most of the important part in terms of cultural tourism. Okay. So yeah, I will stop the screen here. Any questions, guys?
Uh,
If let's say there's no questions, I think we shall end the talk show. Will that be okay?
Okay, Miss. I would like to take. Sorry. Okay, Miss. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the students for your warm welcome and cooperation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your valuable time
Thank you,
to
madam.
educate us on cultural heritage tourism in Malaysia. So thanks.
No
And Miss,
problem. Okay, good job, guys. All the best, all of you.
Can we
it's
take a
a wrap,
picture?
madam. It's a
A
wrap.
picture.
It's a wrap.
So yeah, I think it was
Uh,
disconnected earlier, right?
Miss, I
Yes.
appreciate if you can.
I can't hear you guys. I think Daniel, is it? Your mic is mute.
Hello, Miss. I appreciate if you
Yes.
can on camera for take some picture.
Yeah,
Madam already
my
posted,
webcam
right?
is on. My webcam
Okay.
is on.
Kita semua ke?
Okay lah, together.
Okay.
Come.
Wait, belakang sikit. Wait lah. Wait lah. Macam ni buat. Danish.
Bro, picture.
Belakang sikit. Check.
Depan sikit ke depan sikit? Depan sikit.
Belakang.
Tak pada gambar.
Boleh tekan.
Okay, Messi.
Smile.
Oh, okay, done.
Okay, done already.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Participant, please
No
stay. Ah.
problem.
I need to share you the James code.
So I'll just leave first, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
madam.
okay,
Thank you so
Miss. You can
much.
leave. Thank you so much. Sekarang macam mana?
Jadi